He thought all of his pets died after the hurricane, but then he saw this. The bond between a man and his pets is something special. This is the case of Lester Morrow, who owns a 500-acre farm that's filled with all sorts of animals, from dogs to horses. Lester loves his animals like his own kids, and sadly, he thought he lost them all after a storm destroyed his farm. You won't believe how bad the farm looks.
Before we begin, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos.
This is how bad Lester Morrow's farm looked after it was hit by a storm. Seeing this, Lester was sure that all his beloved animals were lost. Check out what he had to say about leaving his animals behind. It's truly heartbreaking. At the moment that I was forced to evacuate, all I could do was move them to the highest ground possible, give a hug and a kiss, and say a prayer for my beloved animals, said Lester Morrow. Let's see some of the animals that Lester had on the farm. No farm would be complete without horses, and Lester Morrow had this beautiful pair. These two horses meant the world to Lester, and he was heartbroken at the thought that he might never see them again. Although, these are not the only animals that live on Lester's farm. Just like horses, dogs are also essential to every farm, and Lester Morrow made sure to get a bunch of them at his house. Unfortunately, these weren't the only dogs to remain in the storm, because he had a litter of puppies on his farm. Aren't these puppies just the cutest? Click next to get a better look at one of them. Only the thought of leaving them alone at the farm was unbearable, but it had to be done. As we can clearly see, Lester loved all the animals that he had at his farm. If you aren't sure of that, just check out the next photo and see for yourself how much he cares for these animals. That's why it was so hard for him to leave them in the storm. One of the things that Lester Morrow loves to do the most with the little animals around his farm is to dress them up. This doesn't just help keep them warm, but also makes them even cuter than they already are. Don't believe me? Look at what's coming next and see for yourself. From the looks of it, the animals love spending their time at Lester Morrow's farm. Nonetheless, Lester decided to come and visit his farm now that the storm ended. Let's see what he found there. Luckily, Lester Morrow decided to document how his farm looked after the storm hit. He couldn't believe his eyes how bad the farm looked. However, he wasn't ready for what happened next. You can hear Lester Morrow shouting, "Oh my God," as he sees something moving in the back of his farm. He knew that must be his black pig, Patty. Let's see what happened next. "How did you survive?" asks Lester while tearing up. The man feels a bit embarrassed for getting emotional, and he tells himself to man up. After doing this, Lester decided to venture deeper onto the farm and see who else made it. Then he noticed something else. Lester Morrow spots another farm animal in the background. Who could that be? Could it be Meg, the pregnant goat? The man decides to comfort the black pig for a second and then head over to Meg. Lester Morrow is so happy that he starts petting Patty, the black pig. After he makes sure that the pig is feeling safe, he decides to go towards Meg. What he found on the road will amaze you. Not being able to believe what he is seeing, James Morrow rushes straight for his horses. The man got really emotional when he got close to them, but who could blame him? The man begins crying as he gets closer to the horses. This was an emotional moment for him because he thought that all of his animal friends passed away. Fortunately, this was not the case. After getting a better look at his horses and talking to them a bit, he decides to head over to Meg, the pregnant goat. You won't believe how the animal reacted. As the man tries to go over to Meg, he tears up once again. It's difficult not to get emotional at times like this. However, Meg is scared and she runs away. This broke Lester Morrow's heart, but he kept talking to the goat in hopes of calming her down. Even though the goat is hiding from him, Lester doesn't give up. He keeps talking to Meg until she recognizes his voice. What happened next is really emotional. Luckily, Meg recognized Lester's voice and went straight into his arms. This was a heartwarming moment, and Lester couldn't be happier. However, Meg is not the last animal that he found. Lester was lucky enough to also find his donkey safe and sound. Sadly, not all of his farm animals made it through the storm, but at least some of them were safe. Lester Morrow plans to rebuild his farm and provide his animals with a better shelter in case another storm comes.